Welcome to a new episode of Nostalgia Time with your host, me, Cosplay Dude 637. I know, it's been a long time, we haven't had an episode in a while. Things happened. It's okay, we're back now, we're good to go. And we have a new story for you this time. One that brings a lot of nostalgia back to my childhood, because I loved these books as a kid. And as a dyslexic kid growing up, it was very hard for me to read, but I absolutely love these books. So, let's kick it off with this new story. Hi, my name is Tobias. That's all I can tell you. I can't even risk sharing where I live. The Yerks could find me and my friends in an instant. For those of you who stumble across this account, understand that I am taking a grave risk by even putting these words out there. But it's important. You need to know what happened to our world. The Yerks. They're the enemy we face, unseen and insidious. They're parasites, slithering into human brains and taking control. It's a silent invasion, a war fought in whispers and shadows, and we, a group of teenagers who call ourselves the Animorphs, are the only ones standing between them and their takeover of our world. It all started with a chance encounter, a dying alien named Elfangor who gave us the power to morph into any animal we touched. The power is both our greatest weapon and our deepest secret. With it, we fight to protect our families, our friends, and our very humanity. But every victory has a cost. We've seen horrors that no one should witness, and yet we press on. We are bonded by the unbreakable oath to save the world. So, if you're hearing this, know that you now are part of the fight, whether you want it to be or not. Stay vigilant, trust no one, and above all, remember our names. We are the Animorphs. Chapter 1. Wings or Skin? I was just an ordinary teenage boy navigating the ups and downs of adolescence. Then everything changed. Elfangor, a dying alien, bestowed upon us a power that defied all logic, the ability to morph into any living creature we touched. I remember the day I first touched the red-tailed hawk. It was an energetic moment, an instant connection. As my human fingers brushed its feathers, something within me ignited. From that point on, I was bonded to this magnificent creature. The battle with the Yerks was fierce and unrelenting. In one of those brutal encounters, it all changed. I found myself imprisoned in the form of a hawk. My humanity seemingly lost forever. It was a grim fate, or so I believed. Then came the Elemist, a cosmic entity unfathomable and enigmatic. With his unbelievable power, he granted me a glimpse of hope. He allowed me to regain the gift of morph. But, with a twist, I could only reclaim my human form for 2 fleeting hours. Now my life is a delicate dance between soaring through the skies as a hawk and those precious moments as a human. Those hours are sacred, for they allow me to be with her. Rachel, the girl who holds my heart. We steal moments together, savoring the simplest of just being. But as the clock ticks away, a question lingers in the air. Is it enough? Can 2 hours of humanity truly fulfill the void left by a lifetime of yearning? It's a question I grapple with as I navigate this extraordinarily bittersweet existence.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, whatever happened to Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637?
Dude, you don't know?
Clearly I don't know, or I wouldn't be asking.
It's moved to Tiger Tales on YouTube.
Tiger Tales? You mean that YouTube channel ran by Ty Tiger?
Yep, that's the one. Ty Tiger brought Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637 to his channel, and it's better than ever. There's even some new stories, too.
No way! I loved Storytime. I can't wait to check it out on Tiger Tales. Thanks for the heads up.
Catch all your favorite episodes of Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637 now on Tiger Tales on YouTube. Subscribe and don't miss out on any of the fun.
Now, back to our program.
Rachel and I walk hand in hand through the bustling mall. Her presence beside me, her fingers intertwined with mine, is a sensation I hold dear. It's a simple act, yet it feels like the entire world slows down, as if it's just the two of us against the backdrop of a bustling universe. She tells me about her upcoming gymnastic meet, her eyes bright with excitement. The way she talks about it, you can feel the passion radiating from her. I can't help but be drawn into her world, eager to be a part of something that means so much to her. "Would you come, Tobias?" she asks, her voice filled with hope and a touch of vulnerability. The question hangs in the air, and my heart swells with warmth. Without hesitation, I nod, a smile spreading across my face. "Of course, Rach. I wouldn't miss it for anything." We stop in a quiet corner away from the bustling crowd, and she leans in, her lips meeting mine in a gentle, tender kiss. It's a moment of pure connection, a silent promise of support and love. As we pull away, I look into her eyes, knowing that those silent moments, these stolen hours, are what makes everything else worth it. In her arms, even 2 hours as a human feels like an eternity of bliss.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Riddle me this. What do you get when you get 3 Power Ranger fans who also write Power Ranger fanfictions and upload them on separate podcasts and YouTube channels, and you happen to put the 3 of them together and they form a unique Power Ranger storyline? Here's your answer. You get the 3 Ranger Bros, who is myself, Ty Tiger, the Red Corner Ranger, Mark, and the Cosplay Dude 637. We are the 3 Ranger Bros, and we came up with the idea called Power Rangers Global, a storyline where 4 different Rangers from different universes team up to save Universe 2118, a universe ruled by the gods. Now, if you want to hear Power Ranger Global, you can find it on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast, and you can find that podcast anywhere that podcast can be listened to. So one more time, that's Power Rangers Global on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast.
Now, back to our program.
In the strange, interdimensional space, the Elemist and the Krayak sit across from each other at a floating chess table, their presence dwarfed by the cosmic expanse that surrounds them. "Why have you called me here?" the Elemist inquires, his voice steady and inscrutable. Krayak's dark form ripples with an ominous energy as he responds, "I have a new game I'd like to play with you, my old nemesis." With a wave of his hands, the chessboard materializes before them, pieces of black and white poised for the impending contest. Krayak's voice resonates, explaining the rules. "This is a game called chess. A fellow interdimensional being with a lot of champions showed it to me one day." The Elemist raises an eyebrow, still puzzled. "I fail to see how this pertains to our battle games." A sinister smile plays on Krayak's lips. "Oh, did I forget to tell you? Your pieces represents your beloved Animorphs." The Elemist looks down at the board and sees his 6 pieces, 1 white king and queen, 2 knight and 2 rooks, stand stark against the full set that lines Krayak's side. "In this game, I will pit my forces against yours," Krayak declares, his voice a chilling echo. "And whatever we do on this table will happen in their reality." The Elemist gazes at the board, contemplative. Finally, he speaks, a determined resolve in his tone. "Very well then, let us begin."
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Have you been teleported to the past? Or de-aged to look like a kid again? Or have you delivered a message to some strange woman who asks questions all the time? And are you stuck? Well, call TARDIS Taxis, the taxi service that don't get you where you want to go, but where you need to go. To book TARDIS Taxis, simply call the number in last week's paper. Bookings are 6 months in advance. We cannot rearrange your booking, as it may rip a hole in the space-time continuum. Refunds are at the discretion of the Time Lords. Call TARDIS Taxis, and we will get you home. One day.
Now, back to our program.
Soaring high in the sky, the thermals carrying me ever upward, I couldn't help but let my thoughts wander. They inevitably found their way to Rachel. The fierce determination of her eyes, the warmth of her hand in mine, We've been through so much together, faced horrors that most could never comprehend, yet in those fleeting moments as a human, I feel it's all worth it. As the wind rushes past me, my mind drifts to the rest of our team. Jake, our leader, the steadfast anchor of our turbulent world. Marco, the Joker, always ready with a quip to lighten the mood, even in the darkest of times. Cassie, with her boundless empathy, her heart big enough to encompass the entire world and all its creatures. And then there's Axe, my uncle. It's a strange dynamic having an uncle who is the same age as you, at least in human years. He's an Andalite, wise beyond measure, with a sense of duty that matches his wisdom. There's an unspoken bond between us, forged through battles fought side by side, through the shared weight of our responsibilities. As I ride the current of the sky, I feel a profound gratitude of these individuals who have become my family. We are the Animorphs, spawned by a destiny we never asked for, but one we face together. Such, each of us bringing our own strengths to the fight. In the end, it's the connections we make, the moments we share, that gives us the strength to keep going.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
My name is Ace, and I use a device called the Color Matrix, which allows me to hijack alternative universe versions of myself. I have the multiverse at my disposal, from being a Power Ranger, to being a Spider-Man, to piloting the Orville, to being a Vampire Slayer. I can do it all. I can spend 8 hours of my time. Of course, time is different in each universe, but 8 hours of my time piloting a version of myself. So come, explore the multiverse with me. See what my world is like in different universes. Explore the multiverse. If you want to hear such stories, then come and listen to The Color Matrix on Tiger Tales, The Lost Stories, found on YouTube.
Now, back to our program.
Morphing is a peculiar sensation. It's not painful, just strange. That's the best word I can find to describe it. Feathers transforming into skin, hawk vision shifting to a weaker human one, talons becoming feet. Standing there completely human again, I'm stark naked. Thankfully, Jake and I had planned ahead. Earlier in the day, he left me a set of clothes just outside the school grounds. I dress quickly and make my way to the gym, a sense of unease settling in. Something's amiss. Something is on the horizon. Entering the gym, Marco's voice calls out, "Over here, dude!" I nod and make my way over, joining my friends. "So is Axe not coming?" Cassie inquires. "Nah, he's off on a recon mission, looking into a group of human controllers," I explain. "Controllers, that's what we call those enslaved by the Yeerks." "Rachel is going to be thrilled you made it, man," Jake assures me, to which I simply nod. All in all, the meet should wrap up in an hour and 45 minutes, Cassie chimes in. Not much time to leave and revert to my hawk form, I think to myself, but that thought is quickly overshadowed as Rachel steps onto the mat. When I say she's breathtaking, it's an understatement. Rachel is a goddess, at least in my eyes. As she starts her routine, the entire world seems to fade away. All that exists is her.
In their ethereal dimension, the Elemist and Krayak have been locked in their cosmic game for some time. Time is a mere concept, irrelevant where they are. Through strategic moves, the Elemist gains ground, capturing some of Krayak's pieces. In a surge of frustration, Krayak strikes the table, sending reverberations through their domain.
As Rachel nears the end of her routine, the foreboding feeling returns. The entire gym begins to shake. "Earthquake!" someone shouts and panic erupts. Jake and Marco head for the door, but they're jammed. It would be easy for one of us to morph, but that would expose our secret to everyone here, and we don't know who might be a controller. "We need to find a safe place," Cassie shouts. "Under the bleachers," I yell. With everyone's help, we managed to guide everyone safely under the bleachers. 2 hours and 40 minutes later, the shaking finally subsides. I've been in my human form for well over 2 hours now. Once again, I've lost the ability to morph. This podcast is a production of the Three Ranger Bros Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast. Thank you all for listening to that story. I hope you enjoyed it. Just a reminder that all my fanfictions are just that, fanfictions, and does not mean to infringe on the mainstream continuity that it's from. Now, I'd like to take a little bit of time to thank all those that support me. First off, you have the Three Ranger Bros Studio, which consists of myself, Cosplay Dude 637, my Parabatai and dear friend, Ty Tiger, with all his YouTube channels, Tiger Tales, and his new podcast, the Tiger Nexus Podcast. Then, of course, last but definitely not least, we have Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, with his podcast, Nerds Through Comics. And then there's the guys at Zio to Hero, the podcast, Jim and Billy, the bulk and skull of podcasting. Anything nerdy you think you have ever talked about, I guarantee they have an episode about it. So definitely go check them out. Then we have Jared over on If You Give a Dad a podcast. An amazing guy, a dad like myself that just loves talking to nerdy people about every subject. So definitely go give him a listen also. Then there's Jacob, aka the Iron Avenger, on TikTok and Instagram. We also have to give a shout out to Ben, the Baker Ranger. And last but not least, there is Tony, our good friend. And an honorable mention to the late, great Rebel Ranger, Sam. We love you, we miss you. Every person I just mentioned is a member of the Zio to Hero Network. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of time to mention some of the friends of the Zio to Hero Network. First off, we have Casey from the Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories, A-Crown from the Author's Crown YouTube channel, Johnson of Western Strike, Rob, aka Lightning Collector 2021, James, better known as Beauty_Baba Yaga, Justin the Green Spartan Ranger, and Michael and Nathan of the Power Trip. Everyone I just named, it has been a huge supporter to me and my podcast, and if you can, go give them a follow. It would mean the world to me. Thanks a lot. Until next time, guys. Later days.